you, and here you are.
Hi everybody, I'm Claire Cooley. This is the Creativity Show. Thank you for being here, and thank you to the Minnesota State Arts Board for this grant to illustrate my life stories that Bodhi helped me publish and design the book Incandescence Rising Above Darkness that has 68 pieces of my art. But now I'm doing a completely different kind of challenge, which is illustrating my life story, which was a daunting idea. And I'm so glad I took on the challenge because I'm feeling real inspired by it. I've got my first two pieces of art going. This painting here that I'm calling Primordial Potential, that has 73 different love languages, words for love, in this golden metallic paint that looks different depending on what angle the light is coming from or what angle the viewer is looking at it. And it's got the fetus in the center of the universe, and it's a symbol for me because we're all connected and we're all the center of our own universe. And for me, every solar system is moving away from every other solar system. In all directions, the distance between them is expanding. This huge, incomprehensible emptiness, or at least we think it's empty, but we don't know what the dark matter in between it actually is. And then it is my belief, and it doesn't hurt anybody. It helps me, it helps other people. So I'm fine to believe it, knowing it's a belief, not a fact, not substantiated by science, that before the Big Bang, when the biggest black hole had already consumed all the other black holes, contracting the universe that had been expanding in all directions, down to this microscopic particle, so energetic, so highly compressed and energetic, that it eventually exploded into the gases, the hydrogen and helium of the original universe as we understand it now. And then somehow the gas particles coalesced, the dust particles, into matter that then became eventually, billions of years later, heavenly bodies, and then eventually life, and Earth being the only place we know in the known universe where life exists. It is my theory that it was love before the Big Bang, because it can't be destroyed. It has no physical, we feel it, we feel it going out and coming to us, even from those we love that have died. So it's indestructible, and that's what could survive the compression of the earliest form of the universe. And what does love want? To be shared. So to me, the love in 73 different languages is a symbol of that's what was there. And I believe that every religious, spiritual belief pretty much believes that the divine, God, goddess, whatever belief system, is love. So love is what we have in common, and that's the most important. That's what inspires me, is what brings us together, not what divides us. And so that is the essence of all religion and all moral belief systems, that love is what we should live, embody, appreciate, give, receive. So there you go. So that's the beginning. The second piece is Cloud Child. And before I start working on this in front of you, I wanted to share, every live stream I share, this is a stencil that I did on some used clothing. I love to be frugal. I love to recreate. I started stenciling and painting on clothes to cover up a stain, and I have a whole video about the 100 different pieces of clothes or more that I've stenciled or painted on, the 50 different outfits I've put together. It gives us this flexibility if we use our creative resourcefulness to repurpose, to recreate, and to not waste, which is good for our budget, it's good for the world, it's good for the environment. So that's what I love to do, is make stuff. So as you can see from that 1-minute introduction, I like to make just about everything in my life. Jewelry, clothes, furniture, dishes, art, writing. I don't have the audio art in that little introduction because it is the one area that I have been very self-conscious. My father and older sister would wince when I would hum, and it got to me, so I stopped singing and humming. But I'm going to embrace that I, like everyone else, have areas that I want to improve and get more free and confident. So I've asked for help from a woman who is a musician and teaches and help me free my voice. So this next piece, Cloud Child, I'm going to work on in front of you now. So I've started with the fetus, and now it's an infant floating on a cloud in a sky full of feathers, representing my mysterious connection to birds and flying things, floating things, the different effect gravity has on light, meaning not heavy beings. So I started the last live stream, and now I'm going to continue. What I'm going to do now is, except for this feather, everyone has one color. So now I'm going to go add colors, and I just follow my instincts. So here I go.
When you say you follow your instincts, do you know all the colors you want to use? Did you establish a color palette or what?
No, I just start and then what color do I want next, and go for that one, and then I just keep going. I just follow my instincts, and because nature has been my design coach, my teacher, and nature has this graceful randomness, and it unfolds. It isn't planned, and it doesn't have to be controlled. It develops according to its principles, like water flows downhill. So I'm going to go for this big guy here, and I feel like he needs some pink. So the first thing I do is I get pure water with no pigment, and I put it where I want the pigment to flow. And in this case, I'm going to move here's my colored pencils, which will be detailing it. Most likely, I'm going to detail. I did a little in here to see if I liked it. And I try to go slowly so that I don't rush it. both because I love the process. It's meditative, soothing, relaxing, and it's less likely that I'll do something that is hard to go with if I go slowly. So we got the water in there. Now we're going to pick a color, and I'm going to go for a very light pink red with a lot of water. And I welcome questions, comments, suggestions anytime you have any. I will do my best to address them.
I just made it so that I would not show up on the screen. Computers today, you know, just every single thing I try to click doesn't work. Okay. So, you did get an email question. Let me come out there so it's not echoing for the people. So, your friend Patty. Hello, Patty.
Motion detected at front door.
Excuse us, we have somebody at the front door. Just a letter carrier. Thank you so much for your service. So Patty asked, I read your book. Wow, how do you tell such hard stories in such a unique and uplifting way? Great question.
Well, thank you, Patty, for being here and for asking that question. And, well, we have to take responsibility for healing ourselves, because especially those who have hurt us, which my story has that in it, as everybody's does. Nobody goes without some wounding, but mine is rather dramatic in my father setting me up when I was a young teenager, before I'd ever been with a boy, set me up to be sexually molested. And I believe that, processing that it's not it's not excusable. Excuse me for clearing my throat, but it does help me to accept that I believe that he did that maybe partly or maybe wholly because he wanted to keep me around, and that was a way to control. Fear tries to control, love tries to support, and he was afraid because I gave him companionship, maybe even hope that life could have good in it. So even though it's not an excuse for such a wrong thing to do, give your barroom buddy permission to rape your teenage daughter, it does help me to forgive it, which is for me first, so that I don't have that hurt keeping me from loving and trusting and being glad to be me and have my life and all of that. So so that's the first thing, is to figure out a way to live with whatever happens, to forgive, not forget, not condone, but have compassion. And I deserve to be happy because I don't wish anything but happiness for others. So I deserve to be happy, and the way back to my happiness is to let go of the hurt. And sometimes we do that privately, sometimes we do that by being honest and sharing what we've been through and having sacred witness, I call it, people that will keep our let us tell our own stories, but not tell our stories for us, not judge us, not criticize us, just hear us. So I've done a lot of that, and writing, sort of healing as a way to heal. So that has helped me get to a place of neutrality with all of it, and regain my peace, which I deserve. So there you go. Hope that answers your question, Patty, and thank you for asking it.
Heck yeah, that was a wonderful answer. And you got a question last time on YouTube that we didn't get a chance to answer, which is, what do you think about AI art? For me, it keeps me from wanting to try to do my own art. Why should I even try if AI can make it for me and maybe make it better?
Well, in my opinion, art, whether it's writing, painting, music, dance, is all about feeling. And that's what AI can't do. So it can have competence in other areas, but it is never going to feel like we feel. And so it cannot replace it. It's a tool. And it's like, a sophisticated screwdriver. It's a tool. It's not a replacement. You need the hand that moves the screwdriver. You need the mind that figures out what project the screwdriver is needed for. And with art, since art is about feeling, it's crucial that we as people with consciousness and feelings share our consciousness and feelings, the way we've processed things with compassion, not just data, not just facts or knowledge, but with what we would call heart, which of course is actually feelings that happen in the limbic core of the brain, but they are experienced as feelings, and that's the part AI cannot do. So it actually makes it more important, not less, that we share our art, our hearts. So hopefully that.
And you got another question from Patty. You mentioned in your last live stream that you dress differently now than you did in your youth. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, when I was a young lady, I, like anyone who's paying any attention, observing what's around them in the world, realized that women, still to this day, are given more attention, acknowledgement, appreciation for their looks than anything else. And there's so many aspects to any of us. Any person has many aspects, and to just give all the attention to looks felt unfair, wrong, and destructive. We're minds, we're hearts, we're inside, outside, we're our actions. So we should, all of that should be celebrated and given its appropriate amount of attention. So I decided I didn't want to get just looks attention, and I didn't want to be, attract that kind of attention. I wanted to develop my whole self, all the other aspects of myself. So I didn't wear shapely clothes, colors, didn't fix my hair. But now that I'm 73, it's like, you know what? I'm no longer worried. It's kind of liberating that most people are sexually, especially men who are attracted to women, are most sexually attracted to younger, and most men are looking for younger women. So it's liberating to get older and not feel hunted, pursued by that superficial, sexual energy. And so I feel free now to wear color and a little makeup and jewelry and show my legs sometimes and the shapes of my body. It's kind of liberating, which I really haven't heard many women talk about getting older as being liberating in that way, but it is. Young we're hunted and older we're usually dismissed, which can be freeing. It can be sad, but it can also be freeing. And I don't let the confusion, I try not to let the confusion of others confuse me. So I know I'm, many different things like every person. So I don't add myself up just even in my youth. It's just looks, or now I'm not just experience. But every age has its own beauties, and the older we get, the beauty is how we've ruminated on things, processed what's happened in life, and turned it hopefully into useful, hopefully some wisdom. Hopefully that answered that somewhat. And I also think it's very important to live the way we wish the world was, promote that, meaning that wisdom and experience is appreciated. There's a lot of ageism besides sexism, and as if that's the only worth females have is their look, or childbearing or taking care of men. And no, we have so many things to offer. And so I want to develop, I've always wanted to develop, which is why young I, wore baggy, handmade muslin clothes and couldn't figure out at the time why people thought I was from some religious sect, but now I get it. I dressed like, perhaps a priestess from someplace nobody'd ever heard of, and because I made it up. It was what I was comfortable in. Trying not to attract attention, which of course didn't really work out that way. It ended up attracting attention because it was unique.
On YouTube, the Lone Gun 91 says, thanks for the art and the talk.
You're very, very, very welcome, and thank you for hearing me and appreciating what I do, what I feel is, I say what I think is important to say, what I need to hear, what I believe other people need to hear, and I try to live my life celebrating kindness, being real, honest, and so it's always good to hear there are other people that appreciate it too.
So can you explain the composition and what you're painting?
These feathers around the cloud child are just the magical colors and the lightness of feathers. And feathers are this incredible engineering feat. Allowing birds to fly and stay warm enough to survive cold temperatures, and the cranes that can fly over the Himalayas, and they're really amazing structure, and they're like, I think probably the person who came up with Velcro was inspired by feathers, because they kind of interweave the structure of the feather is like zipping Velcro together in a way, not describing it very well, but I have always had a fascination, and this is my life story I'm trying to illustrate with flight, with birds, and my first published work was my book of cranes, all 15 species of cranes, which I knew I had to paint. So I went to the International Crane Foundation, the only place I knew of in the world that had all 15 species, and was given the great honor and privilege of getting to go into the enclosures with them and observe them in their big enclosures that were almost natural habitat. And then I went and painted them and did the Book of Cranes. It was published by Pomegranate. I'm working on a new book called Sentinels of Serenity that's going to have lots of my crane art. The subject, my most the highest percentage of my over 600 paintings and drawings and 300 more stencil designs, the subject matter that's gotten the most representation is cranes. I don't have a logical explanation for why I feel so connected and inspired, but I do. So, so here's this painting is a visual metaphor for me as a as an infant, floating in a sky filled with feathers, or surrounded by feathers. All right, so now we're going to turn this, and I'm going to put some blues in this guy. And I have these little dishes that now can go. And then I have my water dish. So first I paint with the water, just the clear water. And then I touch the pigment into it. And it flows according to the principles of water, which I can guide, but not necessarily control. But that works for me. And I love to watch what happens and then try to go with it. And I'm gonna let that one be. And I'm going to come around and I'm going to put a little bit of orange in that guy. So there's the water, there's the blue. And right now I have all of these. We have orange, we have burgundy, we have yellow, green, it's kind of beautiful in itself. And then we have pink. All right, well, this guy, okay.
So another question you got is,
Yes.
did you go to school for any of these art forms that you do? You do them all so well. How could you have gone to school for all of them?
Well, thank you for that compliment. I actually I don't have academic training in any of them. I felt safest in nature as a little girl, and so I started slipping away from school at 7, and we moved around so often that the truancy officers didn't catch up to me till I was 14. So I got a lot of time alone in nature, and I just played with the stuff I found around me in the woods or wherever I got to be in natural habitats, because that's where I felt relaxed. That's where I could let my guard down. And my family had a lot of chaos and danger in it. So in nature, I could relax and replenish. So that's what I did. And I just played with stuff, rocks and feathers and leaves and sticks and seashells, and that's how I learned. And it's how I'm still learning, just playing, rearranging whatever I come across. And it's always been most the happiest for me to be in creative reverie. So I've always known that doing art, being an artist, was who I am and what I wanted to do with my life. So I thought, well, you know, the less money I need, the more time I can afford being an artist. So I got very motivated to be creatively resourceful for this other stuff I needed in my life. And instead of have to get a job for money to buy things, make them out of whatever I had. So that's kind of what I very early started to practice. And I didn't really end up studying it in school. That was not my way. I don't think it's a wrong way to do it. It just isn't my way. And I didn't really participate in school with any consistency until I was asked to teach in my 20s. And then that's the way I ended up going to school, was teaching creativity to others, and which is kind of ironic. My mother was an artist who was consummately trained, but she always said, the rules don't matter for you. You just have to forget them if you learn them. So she encouraged me to be me. And I'm forever grateful for that. I'm going to add some brown to this very densely, very intense orange there. So I don't think everyone, you know, nobody's the same. We're all slightly different. So sometimes there are people that school is the way that helps them. But I also have heard some disturbing statistics about people that go to art school or study the arts in school, that a small percentage of them are doing their arts years later. And I think that the most important part is our inspiration, our spirit, giving ourselves permission to explore and to learn and to grow. And sometimes the competitive atmosphere can harm that, and we need to protect our tender spirits and not let them be crushed by the competitive and comparing ourselves. If art is not original, then it really isn't art. So it can't really be compared to others. A lot of the time that's a mistake, because if it's not our own, it's not real art. So it's not going to be like anyone else's. And there's a lot of critiquing and comparison and competition in society and in school, and creativity is a very vulnerable place. So protect it. And if people don't shore you up, then how could their critique help you anyway? So be careful not to let people tear you down. That's what I would say. And whatever my art form, I'm only trying to be me. I'm not trying to be better than anyone else at anything. I just want to be me. I want to be the best me I can be. And nobody else is that. So there's no real reason to compare myself to others. I've always had artist friends, and I pay attention, I watch what they do, and so, you know, I can learn the tools and the how to stretch a watercolor paper and things like that. Those are great. But when it comes to actually expressing our unique creativity, that's something only we can do.
Well, this the way you have your paintbrushes displayed and everything, it looks like a work of art on its own. I'm going to take a picture because it's so cool. So, is there something about your process you want to tell us? And I mean, obviously, it looks so organized and picturesque. That can't be by mistake.
I try to organize enough life, my tools, my materials, my ideas, so that I can have as much time playing and doing the restorative, being in the timeless creative reverie as possible. So I try to organize enough so that I have more time for the joyous part, and don't over-organize and have less time for the joyous part. But anytime I'm not certain what to do next, overwhelmed, in a waiting for the inspiration to come, I organize something so when the inspiration comes, I can move quickly. So I'm feeling pretty good about this, and I'm gonna work on this big one. There any other questions? Well, oops.
Yeah. You, in your previous live stream, you showed something about taping the edge of the paint, asks Terry. Taping the edge of the painting, excuse me. I believe they're talking about, that stretching. You want to talk about the stretching process?
Well, what I do is I take the watercolor paper into a clean bathtub, and I submerge gently, without putting a bend in it, the watercolor paper so it's wet. And then I put it on my masonite board, and I put this tape, which I run gently across a damp paper towel on a plate. So it just gets the tape just wet enough to stick to the paper and the board. And then I do the big painting, like the backgrounds where there's a lot of water, while it's on the board, and then I often take it off the board to do this detailing because it's so much easier to move it around. But I have a little video. Can you show that of how to do the watercolor paper on the masonite board? Is that easy to show?
That'll take a few minutes if you don't mind.
To find it?
No, to turn on the hard drive and load it up.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll do it next time. Next live stream, which will be Sunday at noon, we'll show that again. I'll show you how I do the paper, submerge it, clear water, put it on the board, try to get the wrinkles out, and then put the tape around it. It's really quite simple. And then the watercolor, the whole background, it was wet. When I paint it, I wait till it dries before painting, and then I get the area I'm going to put the pigments on wet, but to keep the paper from wrinkling for the display after, the tape keeps it nice and flat and taut, kind of like stretching hide across the top of a drum. I'm sure they get the hide wet to do that. Though I've never done that, I can imagine that's how it happens. All right, now let me go here. I'm going to So the most important thing as far as technique, I would say that I've learned over the years I've been painting is slow down, enjoy the process. We're in such a speeded up, instant gratification world that there are people that don't even know how good it can feel to just slow down and take your time. So I call it don't lose the light. Go slowly, go carefully, enjoy being present. And that's why it's so meditative. And I never feel like, oh, this is taking too long. I never feel that way. In fact, I'm always like, wow, that much time passed? I had no idea. Speaking of which.
12:49.
So, time flies when the watercolor flows. As Bodhi said a few live streams ago, which I am going to use from now on because it's a lovely way to say it, and that's why I call it creative reverie. It's this serene place, and I love being in it. It's a real balance for the hurry up world we're in. I say, slow down and do something with presence and enjoy it. What is that light that's flashing? Huh?
I don't know. Which one's flashing?
Somebody.
Oh, power supply on this one was loose.
It's not a big deal. So slowing down, enjoy the process, and then no matter what you create, you've won, you've succeeded because you've enjoyed the process and you've had some restorative, peaceful time, and that's healing, that's rewarding. So slow down, don't lose the light, go carefully adding color, and especially intense or dense color, so that especially if you're using watercolor, so that you're building it slowly and not losing the delicacy, the grace. And then the other thing that I would suggest, and these are the things that I've learned that I think are the most important, is besides that it's your art, it's what you feel and want to share. So nobody else can really tell you how to do that. You can learn technique and how to draw people or whatever it is you want to portray, but to express what inspires you, that's your journey, nobody else's. And so go slowly, give yourself permission to explore and to learn, and if you enjoy the process and you learn something, you've won. That's great art. Whether anyone else appreciates it or not, that's great to learn and to enjoy the process. So go carefully, enjoy it, and take objectivity breaks, like I'm going to do. Step back from it and let it tell you what it needs next. And so when it's enough to get there, have the courage to don't helicopter artist, as they say, helicopter parent. Let it settle. Let it walk away, come up on it later, and look at it with fresh eyes, with objectivity, and say, "Ooh, what does it need next?" And so we're there now. And so now we're going to let it be.
So what do you do after? How do you tend to the paintbrushes?
Well, one of the things I love about watercolor is you can just leave it in these little dishes and rehydrate it later and use it again. It never gets wasted. If it's acrylic, it would dry and not be able to be used when you come back to it. So that's one of the things I love about watercolor is I can just, other than the brushes, I will put in this water so they don't get hard with the pigment in just the bristles. I can just let it be now and come back to it later and continue working on it. So that's enough for today, unless there's any questions or comments I didn't get to.
That was the last question I see. I just see on YouTube, they say beautiful.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I don't mind at my mature age still working because I love my work. And people say, you know, they look forward to retirement, and and they love being retired. And I'm like, why would I retire? I'm forever learning things and exploring and enjoying the process. So to me, being creative is a fountain of youth. And if we keep learning and we keep challenging ourselves, and certainly illustrating my life story is a challenge. I don't think I'm that interesting. I think nature is endlessly fascinating, but I'm taking this challenge to illustrate my story, which of course is love of nature and love of life and love of humanity. So I'm enjoying this challenge, and I've drawn a few people in my long time of drawing, but not that many. And so it is my life story, so there's going to be people in it, and that's a new challenge. So there's always the next challenge, and there's always learning the next thing, and that's extremely gratifying. So I'm grateful to be doing it, and thank you for your help, Bodhi. I really appreciate your technical skills to help me get it out there, and thank you for everybody that shows up, and I love your comments and questions, and I appreciate it if you tell a friend about the Creativity Show. And if people can't be here on Wednesday and Sunday at noon for the live part, you can see them anytime after, and I love to see your comments, and I love to try to answer your questions and help you strengthen your connection to your creativity and your confidence to express it. The happier any of us are, the more happiness there is in the world, and the more peace we can create for ourselves. We contribute that to the world that really needs it. So thank you for being here. Thanks, Bodhi.
You bet.
All right. So we'll see you Sunday at noon, or anytime you can see the videos in between. Give me a shout out. I'd love to hear from you.
Right, give me 10 seconds here.
Yeah.
So I put the Patreon on the screen. You guys can check out the Patreon. Hello there. Scan the QR code. You can join for free, and a bunch of her art is on there, and we're putting more up every day. And Cindy Brewer said nice things on Facebook. Thank you for your enlightening, regenerative words. Something like that. I'm paraphrasing.
Thank you,
Great to see you.
Cousin Cindy, and thanks for being there. And yes, the stencils, there's 18 flower stencils for Patreon members for no extra cost. And I am going to be adding more stencils all the time. This one isn't on Patreon yet, but it will be. This is one of my 24 Warblers and Wildflower series, and there's 300 stencils. So eventually they'll all come out. We're catching up. We just did a big project, Bodhi's Girl Scout and Tomboy movie, and boy, that was a lot of gratifying work. So we're catching up, and we're going to get more and more stencils out for you Patreon members, or anybody can buy. I guess they're $3 a piece or something like that, whether you're a member or not.
Right.
But you can be a member for free, and but if you're the $5 a month memberships, get all the stencils for no extra cost. So thanks for being here, and love these virtual visits with you.
Yep.
See you Sunday.
Yeah.